Welcome back. All right, so some more news of the day for all you fine people, including everybody's on waivers. Everybody. I think I'm on waivers. I think Yvonne waived me. I don't know what I'm going to do. So at any rate, we'll get into the news side of things first. First off, for Leafs fans, William Nylander willing to have the contract negotiations continue into the season. Doesn't want to hear from his agent until it's done, basically, but willing to have the talks continue into the season. So that's good news for Leafs fans that Nylander and the contract conversation will continue into the season. So yesterday I did the video on expansion, and there's 4 cities that seem to be the most likely places for the NHL to go. Now, it really is one of those things that the NHL looks like it's going to do. Pierre LeBrun, who was there, feels that expansion is a when, not if, from the NHL. He said from the body language that he picked up from Gary Bettman that they are very likely looking at, how expansion's going to work and all the money and all that. And it's really a when situation. And I know there's a lot of fans that say, no, the NHL can't do this, but they're gonna. So it really is one of those things. And also LeBron repeating what, I had figured that this would be the case. They need to get the Coyotes arena squared away first. So if the arena's done, what makes me nervous is that Bettman's now said January or February. No. Let's make January the deadline. Let's not push that back too. But once they have that arena situation dealt with, then they can start looking at expansion. Salt Lake City is seen as the spot where the Coyotes likely end up if they're unable to buy a parcel of land and get that building going. They should be able to get that done. It's something that they're doing their due diligence on. But if it falls through, it's seen that the Coyotes would then go to Salt Lake City. So that's, and of course, if not, then Salt Lake City becomes an expansion location. Ryan Smith basically restating that he wants to have it. He's the owner of the Utah Jazz. He wants an NHL team there as well. So the money is there, and that's the thing, right? The money has to be there. You need somebody with deep pockets. You have to have a building. You have to have the corporate money as well. The NHL likes a strong corporate presence. This is something Bill Daly mentioned about Atlanta that he feels has changed since Atlanta closed up shop and moved to Winnipeg. So again, I understand there are people who don't like the idea of NHL expansion, but it's coming, and it's a matter of when, not if, as LeBron said. And so we'll see how long that is out. I figure 2030 is likely where we would see that, because then you're 9 years after the debut of the Ottawa Senators. But we shall see. Now, before I get into the waivers side of things, let's mention some other things that have been announced. Coach Todd McLellan does have a 1-year extension with the LA Kings. He was on an expiring contract, so he gets that 1-year extension. Not a lame duck coach going into the regular season. I think that's the right move. Poitras has been impressive for the Boston Bruins, and so he is going to get every opportunity to prove that he should make the cut. Poitras generated a lot of interest from Bruins fans in terms of what he might be able to do, and Johnny Beecher has been one that's generated interest as well. Beecher may very well end up being that fourth-line center. Considering the loss of Bergeron and Krejci and what that does to the team, if they can find a couple of diamonds in the rough in their organization that are on cheap contracts, that's awesome. That works really well for Boston. So Poitras has been impressive so far in the preseason. He will get every opportunity to prove he should finish above the cut line. Now, getting into waivers, it's a lot of guys. Starting with Columbus up here, Marcus Bjork's on waivers, Jake Christensen, Dunn's on waivers, Gauntz is on waivers. That's Brendan Gauntz, formerly of the Canucks. Meyer, Sweezy. I don't know if Meyer will get through. He probably does. They've also released Stefan Matteau from his professional tryout. He reports to the Monsters. So a lot of the players on tryouts have AHL contracts, or there's an agreement they get sent to the AHL team if it doesn't work out with the NHL team. Also on waivers, Wade Allison for the Philadelphia Flyers. I like Allison's game. I think he could be a solid pickup if he gets taken on the waiver wire. The Islanders, one thing with Allison, he has dealt with a lot of injuries. The Islanders, Appleby, Cholowski, Durando, Hutton, Koivula, Kuhlman, Ledoux, Pino, Salo, and Skarek are all on waivers. So if your team's looking for a goalie, Appleby and Skarek are both there. Odds are they probably both get through waivers. For the Capitals, Obey Kubel, who has bounced around on waivers before, maybe starting that again. Limoges, as well as Scarbosa, Snively, McElrath, and Hunter Shepard, another goaltender who was part of their Calder Cup win. And Shepard was a pretty good goaltender throughout that Calder Cup win. So if a team is paying attention, he might be a good option for a franchise. Keep in mind, if you pick a guy up on waivers, you'd have to put him back on waivers if you're going to try sending him down yourself. Caleb Jones has been waived by Carolina. So Caleb Jones, it just hasn't worked out with him. We'll see whether or not Caleb Jones ends up somewhere else tomorrow. Everybody from yesterday cleared, so there's no claiming on the board because nobody got claimed. Detroit, very busy, waiving players. Zarnik, Gettinger, Hirose. Hirose may generate some interest. Lethamon, who's another goaltender. McIsaac, Newpower, Rafferty, and Stevens, all on waivers. Dallas waives Petrovic. Florida waives Denisenko, Kierstead, Lockwood, and True. Denisenko, of course, a former first-round draft pick, highly thought-of prospect, but it just hasn't worked at the NHL level. I'd honestly be surprised if he got taken. Lockwood, of course, former Vancouver Canucks fourth liner, also, farmhand for them. And, Lockwood's a good call-up, probably gets through waivers without much trouble. And the Rangers have waived Johnny Brodzinski as well as Ben Harper. So, I remember, wasn't there a big fuss about Harper re-signing with the Rangers, and what are the Rangers doing? And now they've waived him to send him to the minors anyways. And that's the thing. When you see a guy get signed for league minimum, and the fan base losing his mind, what are we paying this guy for? Very often, it's a player that they can just send to the minors anyways. So very often, much ado about nothing. But let me know your thoughts in the comments section below, as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.